holidays is that you're together for a while, right? You do all the stuff, and then suddenly you're sitting there and you talk to each other. And because you're close to each other, you talk about things that matter to you. And you are just bound to disagree. I mean, especially this year, there are going to be really significant political disagreements. There's so many things to be disagreeable about now. And so what I used to try was like an embargo. If people are in my house, it was like, no politics. You're not allowed to talk politics, because that would just turn into, like people running into the kitchen to get knives to have each other. So now I let people talk it out. And when people have opinions that are different from mine, I try to listen to it, but not let it be about me, right? What I learned about disagreements that left me upset was if I thought it had anything to do with me. And if I know that it's got nothing to do with me, nothing to do with what I believe, nothing to do with my life, I can sit there and actually, I am more interested now. This sounds so hokey, I'm sorry, but it's what I'm doing. I try to be mindful when I chew, and not just to have a blessing on the food, but to be aware of the blessing, especially this year when there's so many people who don't have food, to be focused on the blessing of being able to eat. So if you're fighting, you're not really enjoying your food. And if you're fighting, the truth is they're not listening to you. You are not going to change their mind. Have you ever changed anybody's mind on a family fight? So you can listen to them, you can nod and say, yeah, I hear you, which is what I say, I hear you, or you have a point, and then move to something else like doing the dishes, right? It doesn't have to be a battleground. The way it ends up a battleground is if you go into it expecting to fight, and also it's like that wonderful Dickens story, A Christmas Carol, where you're dragging the chains of the past behind you. And the chains of the past behind you are all the bad things you ever felt about somebody. The person you co-parent with, your former partner. Or I had an aunt, may she rest in peace, who just kind of an insecure lady and always had an opinion about how things should be done and would get cranky if you wanted to do it your way. If you let the past go and say, yeah, that's how they were, that's how they are, it's okay. It's okay. Then you can lower your own temperature. And what I find is when I lower my own temperature, it helps them to lower theirs. What I think doesn't make sense is that they say something you violently disagree with, making the decision in the moment to violently disagree back, because that's throwing kerosene on the fire. Then you're at smackdown. And then the ladies are taking out their high heels, putting them on the table, and we're getting ready to rock and roll. Not what the holidays are about. One thing I'm trying this year is to remember to hold hands. We have people, especially when we have 30, from everywhere in the world. We have a wide variety of people. And I suggest that we hold hands and in our own way, say thanks, say a blessing, be aware of the peace of the moment, and try to atone for the experience, so it takes a little longer before people get worked up.